Sri Lanka.
Good evening, come to you live from the National News Studio. Welcome to the news. My name is Clifford Richards.
I'm Delanjali Ananda, and these are the headlines for tonight.
The death toll due to disasters affecting a number of districts has gone up to 69. Another 43 persons are missing and 61,000 families affected. 266 safety centers in operation. Cyclone Ditwa is still 30 kilometers southeast of Trincomalee. More than 200 millimeters heavy rainfall in many areas. 3 main bridges across Amban River damaged, with the opening of sluice gates of the Moragahakanda Reservoir. Water level of the Calvin River also on the rise. Residents of many areas in the Colombo district advised to move into safer places. All donors are invited to contribute to the Nosidena Dayava social welfare campaign of the national television. The remaining dates of the GCE advanced level examination postponed indefinitely. India warned of Cyclone Ditwa, immediate steps by India to provide relief and aid to Sri Lanka.
The Ditwa cyclone that affected the Batticaloa region has centered about 50 kilometers south of Trincomalee.
Well, the Department of Meteorology states that the system is expected to move north-west, and due to the adverse weather conditions, the number of reported deaths has risen to 89. And according to the Disaster Management Center, around 44,000 families in 20 districts have been affected.
The Met Department stated that torrential rains and thunder showers may occur in the north, north-central, central and northwestern provinces and in the Trincomalee district. There may occur heavy rains over 200 millimeters in some areas. Showers or thunder showers may occur in the Sabaragamu and western provinces and in the Galle and Madhura districts from time to time. Some areas in the Sabaragamu and western provinces may receive rains over 150 millimeters. The Met Department also says gusty winds up to 80 to 90 kilometers per hour will occur in many areas in the island. The number of injured has increased to 14, while 21 people have been reported missing. 4 houses have been completely destroyed and 666 houses have suffered partial damage. At present, 52 safe centers have been established. The Disaster Management Center has also issued high-risk flood warnings for the Mahavali River, Daduru Oya, Maha Oya, Kala Oya, Manikgaga and Malwatu Oya. Due to the heavy rainfall since last night, the water level of the Mundani Aru Basin in the Ampara and Batticaloa districts has risen. The Disaster Management Center announces that a flood risk situation is expected over the next 48 hours. Flood warnings issued for the Madhuru Oya Basin have been extended for the next 48 hours. The disaster management authorities request residents in the area to remain extremely vigilant. Heavy rainfall has been recorded in the upper and middle catchments of the Yan Oya Basin. Due to the potential flood situation that may arise in the lower Yan Oya areas, residents in those low-lying regions are advised to take all necessary precautions to minimize possible risks. Meanwhile, due to the heavy rainfall experienced since last night in certain areas of the Munaragala and Ampara districts, the Heather Oya Basin poses a risk of flooding over the next 48 hours. This warning applies particularly to low-lying areas of the Heather Oya downstream, including Siambalandua in the Munaragala district and Lahugala in the Ampara district. Due to the heavy rainfall continuing across the Kumbukang Oya Basin, the Disaster Management Center has issued warnings for possible severe flooding in the downstream areas of the basin. These areas include the Nakkala, Kumbukana and Madhurukatiya Gramaniladari divisions of the Munaragala Divisional Secretariat, as well as the Okkampitia and Gaminipura Gramaniladari divisions in the Buttala Divisional Secretariats. Flood conditions are already prevailing in the low-lying areas of the Badulu Oya sub-basin, particularly within the Badula and Sornatota Divisional Secretariat divisions. Meanwhile, due to the significant rainfall in the upper and middle catchments of the Kala Oya Basin, the water level of the Kala Oya is currently close to the flood level. As a result, warnings have been issued for possible flooding in the low-lying areas of the floodplain located in the Rajanganaya, Nochiagama, Vanathavillua and Karwalagaswava Divisional Secretariat Secretariat divisions. Heavy rainfall has also been received in the upper catchment of the Kalani River basin. Based on these rainfall conditions and the analysis of water levels observed at gauging stations maintained by the Irrigation Department, there is a potential flood risk over the next 24 hours in the low-lying areas of the Kalani River Valley belonging to the Ruanvala Divisional Secretariat Division. The Nilwala River and the Mee-Oya basins are also experiencing rising water levels and possible flood conditions. The Disaster Management Centre requests residents in surrounding areas to remain alert. The Ditwa cyclone, which was previously active southeast of Sri Lanka, has now centred south of Batiklo. The Department of Meteorology states that the system is expected to move north-northwest. The low-pressure area located to the southeast of Sri Lanka is likely to intensify into a depression within the next 24 hours and move north-northwest, bringing strong winds, heavy rainfall and rough sea conditions. The Department of Meteorology has issued an advisory regarding these developments. Until further notice, the department urges fishermen and naval personnel to avoid all deep and shallow sea areas around the island. Wind speeds over these sea areas may increase to 60 to 70 kilometers per hour at times, and the seas may become rough to very rough. Along the coastal belt from Putlam to Colombo, Galle, Hambantota, Batiklo, Trincomalee and up to Kankasanture, sea waves may rise up to 2.5 to 3.5 meters. Meanwhile, according to the landslide early warning alert, red notices have been issued for the districts of Badulla, Kandy, Kegol, Kurunegala, Munaragala, Matale, Nuwara and Ratnapura. Accordingly, in the Badulla district, red notices have been issued for the areas of Badulla, Haliyala, Passara, Valimada, Uvaparanagama, Meegahakula, Kandekatiya, Lunugala, Haldumulla, Ella, Soranatota and Bandaravela. In the Kandy district, red notices have been issued for Ududumbara, Minipe, Doluwa, Medadumbara, Patahewa Hatta, Ganga Ihalakorale, Udapalata, Deltota, Ganga Vatakorale, Akurana, Udunuwara, Yatinuwara, Patadumbara, Tumpane, Pasbagi Korale, Panvila, Harispattua, Pujapitiya, Kundasale and Hataraliya. In the Kegol district, the areas of Rambukana, Aranayaka, Mavanella, Bulatkahupitiya, Kegol, Varakapola, Galigamuwa, Ruanvala, Yatiantota, Daraniyagala and Dehi Ovita have been issued red notices. In the Kurunegala district, red alerts have been issued for Mallavapitiya, Mavatagama and Ridigama. In the Munaragala district, the areas of Bibila and Madagama have been issued high-risk red warnings. In the Matale district, red notices have been issued for Yatavatta, Vilgamuwa, Ambanganga Korale, Ukuvela, Rattota, Naola, Pallepola, Laggala, Pallegama and Matale. For the Nuwara district, red notices have been issued for the areas of Valapane, Hanguranketa, Nildandahinna, Maturata, Nuwara, Kotmale East, Kotmale West, Talavakale, Ambagamuwa and Norwood. In the Ratnapura district, red alerts have been issued for the areas of Kuruvita, Kirialla, Ratnapura and Ahaliagoda.
Well, with the rising levels of the Kalani River, warning notices have been issued to the public of a large number of areas to move into safer places.
A large number of areas in Colombo district were disrupted due to heavy rainfall and strong winds. The water level indicator analysis of Kalani River Basin has been released for the next 48 hours. Accordingly, the Department of Irrigation warns of a severe flood situation in low-lying areas at Ahaliagoda, Norwood, Yatiantota, Galigamuwa, Ruanvala, Bulatkahupitiya, Dehiovita, Sitavaka, Dompe, Padukka, Homagama, Kaduwela, Biagama, Kolonava, Kalaniya, Vattala and Colombo Divisional Secretariat Division areas. Steps have been taken to completely stop the exit of all vehicles entering the expressway from Kadavata from the Kaduwela entrance due to the flood situation as the Kalani River is in spate. Meanwhile, steps have also been taken to completely stop the entrance of vehicles approaching from Kaduwela towards Kadavata to the expressway. The water level of Pusveli Oya arbitrary is speedily on the rise since the water level of Kalani River is increasing. According to our correspondent, a large number of low-lying areas are inundated in Paduka town. People are facing immense difficulties since a large number of houses are underwater at Lianvela area on Ingiriya-Colombo bus route. Low-lying areas and a large number of main and sub-roads are inundated since Kalani River is in spate. According to our correspondent, Tharala Junction, Pugoda, on the Hanvela-Kirindivela main road is about 5 feet underwater and vehicular traffic is in a complete standstill. Pugoda-Avisavila Road is also inundated at Kanampella area where vehicular traffic is also hampered. This is the condition at Kumbulavila area, Talavatugoda. in the afternoon today due to the continuous rainy weather condition. The area around the Parliament complex was also inundated in the afternoon today. The area around the Parliament complex was also inundated in the afternoon today. This video footage is from Diyata Uena premises Batharamulla, which is also inundated. The road behind the Cinnamon Gardens police station was obstructed when two large trees fell onto it. Meanwhile, Alvitikala Mawatha, near the fourth gate of the National Hospital, Queen's Road Junction, Torrington Square, Colombo, and near Barbican Junction, Kotahena Road was also obstructed. Our correspondent reported that the CCC ground in Colombo is also underwater.
ආරක්ෂිත ස්ථාන කරා යොමු වෙන ලෙස ඔබට දන්වා සිටිමි. ප්‍රදේශවාසීනි අඩි 20කටත් වඩා ඉහළට පැමිණිය හැකි ගම් වතුර තත්ත්වයෙන් ඔබගේ ජීවිත ආරක්ෂා කර ගැනීම සඳහා
Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya said that due to the severe disaster situation across the country, police, the military and government officials were continuing to evacuate people from high-risk areas to safer locations. She urged the public to follow the instructions and guidance of officials to ensure the safety of their own lives and those of their families. She further stated that security forces has been instructed to safeguard the property of those affected. She added that saving lives remained the government's top priority. She noted that the entire country was facing a national disaster and stressed the need for everyone to work together. According to her, since yesterday, the police, the Tri-Forces, the National Disaster Management Centre, district officials, divisional secretaries and all relevant institutions had been extensively involved in rescue operations. Now, the widespread torrential rains lashing several districts across the island have triggered flash floods, landslides and a series of disaster incidents.
Well, the government says all agencies have been fully mobilized, that's to provide prompt and effective relief to the affected communities.
President Anura Kumara Disanayaka has instructed the Army Commander to deploy troops for rescue operations and to assist people affected by the adverse weather conditions. Accordingly, nearly 20,500 Army personnel have been deployed island-wide for evacuation and relief missions. Meanwhile, the Navy has deployed 19 disaster relief teams covering the southern, eastern, northwestern and north-central provinces, continuing operations without interruption today as well. Naval teams are engaged in rescuing stranded residents and providing boat transport for essential daily needs, among several other ongoing disaster response activities. 13 persons trapped on Polannarua Manampitiya Bridge were rescued in the morning today by a Bell 212 helicopter belonging to the 17 helicopter squadron of the Hingurakoda Air Force camp. A woman and two children trapped in floods at Diyabadum area, Polannarua, were rescued in the afternoon today by a helicopter of the Air Force. In Vaunia, a person trapped by the Irattaperaya Colombo oil spill was safely rescued. Amid the ongoing monsoon rainfall, with the opening of the sluice gates at the Veheragala Reservoir, all the bridges leading to the Katharagama Sacred Precinct have been submerged. Our reporter noted that Sella Katharagama, the Gana Devalaya and the Lakshmi Devalaya are also underwater. Nagahavidya, Kotugoda, Dhamavasa roads as well as several houses have been affected by flooding, and under the current conditions, the water supply to Katharagama has also been disrupted. Due to flooding from the Kalawa spill in Anuradhapura, a person who had been trapped on a coconut tree since yesterday, as well as 6 people stranded this Manampitiya Bridge, were rescued by helicopter and taken to safe locations. The operation was carried out using a Bell 212 type helicopter belonging to the No. 7 Squadron based at Hinguragoda. Along with heavy rain, streams in the Boragas area of Valimada have overflowed, disrupting travel on the Valimada-Nuwara road. A portion of the main road in Boragas has been blocked by a landslide. Along the Navalapitiya-Gampala main road near Ulapane Gadolbokku, several landslides have occurred, causing a large earth mound and debris, along with several houses, to spill over onto the railway track. Our reporter stated that as a result, the Navalapitiya-Gampala road has been completely closed. A minor flood caused by the overflow of Kiramaroya, a tributary of the Nilvala river, continues to persist. The roads from Kambalpitiya to Kaduwala in the Godavaya area are submerged, causing disruptions to travel. The Disaster Management Centre stated that the flood situation is gradually subsiding. Due to the overflow of Dikkoya, a number of houses in the Hatton Darawala tea estate area are submerged in water. On the Hatton Bhagavantha main road, landslides and falling of trees, earth mounds occurred at several locations, disrupting vehicular transport. On the upcountry railway line, landslides have been reported between the Vatagoda and Nanoya railway stations. Flooding has also occurred at the Chilaw General Hospital. The outpatient department and several wards are submerged, leading to the transfer of some patients to Maravilla Base Hospital. The hospital director stated that all emergency operations are being carried out efficiently. Our regional reporter in Ratnapura stated that the Ratnapura Ambalipitia main road has been blocked at the Kahavatta Valaduru area. Vehicles are only able to travel through one lane at the Valaduru National College of Education area. Along the Ratnapura Ambalipitia main road, one side of the road is blocked, causing disruption to traffic, while the remaining portion is considered dangerous. As a result, the police have advised drivers to exercise caution while travelling. The Badulla district has also experienced significant damage in several areas due to continuous rainfall. Residents affected along London Road to Badulla said that the overflow of Baduluoya has caused one of the worst flood situations in recent history. With the overflow of Baduluoya, the Oyavatta Bridge has collapsed, cutting off access for the local population. Our reporter stated that along the Badulla Mahiyanganaya main road near the Ridipana area, landslides of trees and sand have blocked the road at several points about 6 kilometers apart. The road has been closed since last night and efforts to clear the disaster began this morning. In the Badulla district, Haputale Kahagala area, a landslide buried 2 children and mother of the same family, resulting in deaths of a 30-year-old mother and her 2 children aged 7 and 12. On the Vattegama Alkadua road, a landslide caused obstruction to traffic. On the Colombo Kandy Road in the Kagala Meepitia area, one lane has been opened due to risk of a 3-story building collapsing, and the building has been evacuated, and landslides have been reported in the Kagala alternative routes as well. On the Hatton Nuwara main road, landslides have occurred at several locations, including Hatton Kudagama and Kotagala, causing disruption to essential travel since last night. At Batticlaw, the road in front of Manmune Bridge is submerged, blocking the route. In Hambantota, a 3-wheeler overturned in the Valigatta area, killing the driver last night. Police report that the deceased is a 42-year-old resident of the LLS village. In Vallavaya Tirivava, Maharagama area, a person was killed when a tree fell onto a motorcycle. The deceased's wife, daughter and son have been admitted to Vallavaya Base Hospital. About 35 houses are underwater at Galamunayaya area, Hinguragoda. Rescue operations are being conducted jointly by police and the Hinguragoda Pradesha Sabha.
With a steep increase in the water level of Amban River, 3 bridges have been destroyed after the opening of sluice gates of Murugahakanda Reservoir. All the 5 sluice gates of Murugahakanda Reservoir were opened 4 meters last night. The water was released into Amban River. 3 bridges across Amban River at Alahara have been destroyed. The destroyed bridges are Murugahakanda Bridge on Matale Hettipola Road via Murugahakanda, Alahara Bridge on Naula Polatuwadia Road across Alahara, and Kumara Ella Bridge on Damula Mahyangana Road via Bakamuna. Meanwhile, a large number of low-lying areas around Amman River are still inundated.
Well, with the heavy rainfall conditions across the country, a number of reservoirs are in spate. The Disaster Management Centre has urged the public living near these water bodies to remain very, very vigilant and alert and exercise caution. Currently, sluice gates have been opened at the Anuradhapura Rajangana, Angamua and Kalawepa reservoirs. Other reservoirs where sluice gates were opened include Kurunagala, Daduroya, Kandy Polgulla, Monragala, Veheragala, Matale Bovatana and Kandy Rantabe and Badul Ulhitia Ratkenda. Heavy rainfall in the Kaluganga Basin has promoted warnings of severe flooding in the Kalutara district, including Palmadula, Nuithigala, Ratnapura and Kuruvita, Ayagama and Alapata over the next few hours. This morning, the Kaluganga water level reached 8.7 meters. Measures have been taken to provide immediate assistance to the affected residents, and the District Secretary of Ratnapura urged the people living near the river to remain vigilant. Many places around the area where people were asked to remain vigilant. Many places around Attanagalu Basin are receiving heavy rains, and the Department of Irrigation warns that the flood situation might occur due to this in the Gampa town and suburbs, along with the low-lying areas around the Attanagalu and Uruvaloe valleys. The Department of Irrigation has warned that severe flooding could also occur in the Kalutara district, affecting the Kalutara, Ingiriya and Horana, Dodanguda, Millaniya, Bulatsingala, Palindanuara and Maduravala and Agalavata divisional secretariat areas. All sluice gates of the Daduruwa reservoir have been opened to a height of 19.5 feet. The volume of 100,000 cubic feet of water is being released. Our reporter noted that with the heavy rainfall, Vimalasurendra Reservoir is in spate. Slightly rising water levels in the Kalani River, water levels in the Kalsur and Mausakali reservoirs are also nearing full capacity, according to the Nuwara District Disaster Management Unit. As a result, hydroelectric production at Canyon, Lakshapana, Navalakshapana, Pulpitia and Vimalasurendra reservoirs are operating at maximum capacity. Residents near all tanks in the Madhavachi Divisional Secretariat area have been advised to evacuate their homes immediately due to the risk of tank breaches. Divisional Secretary says that 103 villages in the Madhavachi area are at risk of breaching its tank bunds. At the Kantale Reservoir, water levels have risen rapidly, prompting the opening of the sluice gates. Currently, 4,010 cubic feet of water is being released per second. Peramadua Vava and Varnala Vava and also Vanrasan Vava in the Kantale Divisional Secretariat area also releasing water. In Siamalandur, since the Mutukudia Reservoir is in spate, numerous paddy fields are underwater and water levels continue to rise at the Monragal district. And the Department of Irrigation reported that the Eppavala tank overflow has submerged Eppavala Kakirawa, Eppavala Thamuttegama, including the Thammattava lying areas. Blockages caused by soil and vegetation have been removed by backhoe machines of the Mahawali Authority. With the opening of the sluice gate of the Udabala Reservoir, low-lying areas have been flooded. Irrigation engineers warned that water levels in the Valawe River could rise further, and several houses near the river reserve have also been submerged. Well, due to heavy rain in the Kandy City, sluice gates of the Nuwara Reservoir have been opened. The Hiripetiawa water level reached maximum level, and the Pradesh Sabha workers intervened for the release of the water. And the water level of the Amban River has risen sharply with the release of water after opening 5 sluice gates of the Moragakanda Reservoir at about 4 meters, and a large number of low-lying areas around Amban River are inundated.
The Department of Examinations has decided to postpone the remaining dates of the GC Advanced Level Examination indefinitely in the face of the existing disaster situation in the country. Commissioner General of Examinations Indika Kumari Lianage made this observation at a media briefing held today. Commissioner General of Examinations Indika Kumari Lianage said that the exam officers face difficulties in conducting examinations, and the safety of students of the advanced level examination that is to be continued until December 5th has been postponed without a date. The concern regarding the exam will be informed by the relevant educational authorities later.
Well, President Andrew Kumar Dissanayake has instructed the district secretaries and also the chairpersons of district development committees to carry out rescue and relief operations without allowing financial constraints to delay assistance to the affected communities. Well, this directive was issued during a special virtual meeting held this morning via Zoom with district secretaries and also chairpersons of the district coordination committees as Sri Lanka continues to battle severe weather and also its aftermath. The President says that 1.2 billion rupees has been released for the disaster relief and further 30 billion rupees has been allocated under the 2025 budget for emergency response, urging officials to act immediately and seek additional funds where necessary. To avoid administrative delays caused by existing circular restrictions, President Dissanayake directed Secretary to the Ministry of Public Administration to issue a new circular with immediate effect. He also instructed the management of relief centres housing displaced families to be handed over to the Sri Lanka Army to ensure more efficient coordination and care. District and divisional secretaries were instructed to utilise available funds for urgent relief efforts and to comply promptly with report further requirements including boats, helicopters, vehicles and specialised equipment needed for rescue operations. The President also announced the establishment of a dedicated coordination unit at the Defence Headquarters alongside the introduction of 10 special hotline numbers to strengthen emergency communication. He further directed the officials to document damage caused to infrastructure due to floods, landslides and falling trees and to submit detailed reports to the Ministry of Public Administration. Once the situation stabilizes, restoration and rehabilitation work will commence with the support of tri-forces based on these assessments. Meanwhile, a special discussion between the President and the government and the opposition public representatives regarding the future measures that should be taken on the face of emergency situation erupted due to the inclement weather. The meeting was held at the headquarters of the three armed forces. The President stated that all should work collectively and efficiently to protect the lives of the affected people and to provide required relief for them at this critical situation. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, opposition leader Sajith Premadasa, government and opposition public representatives were present at this discussion. Well, a special media briefing, and we have an announcement that has to be made. Well, diplomatic representatives were in fact informed today on providing relief to the affected people and also the future measures. A meeting in this connection was held under the patronage of Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya and Foreign Minister Vijitha Herath. Well, at this meeting, foreign diplomats stated that humanitarian and aid facilities will be provided to Sri Lanka continuously during this challenging period. A hotline has been introduced to inquire about the foreign tourists affected in Sri Lanka. Accordingly, required assistance can be obtained by addressing the Director General of International Security Division, Tushar Rodrigo, through hotline 070-788-7778. Special telephone numbers have been introduced, and that's to inform about disasters due to inclement weather. Through these numbers, such information can be given to operational centers set up in 47 police divisions island-wide. Police Special Operations Center has been initiated to provide relief to the affected people. It is activated under the supervision of the IGP. The Special Operational Center says that boats and other disaster help equipment have been prepared with the divers for rapid action. Officials of the Police Navy Division have been positioned with the required vessels to provide support for life-saving activities. The unit can be contacted, and that's on hotline 071-859-1868. The National Transport Commission makes a special announcement for the passenger bus owners and their employees. The Commission informs the bus drivers to strictly adhere to the guidance issued by the police officers deployed at the road barriers. The National Transport Commission requests the drivers not to enter buses into unsecure places. In flood situations, the Commission stresses that in using alternative routes, passengers should be updated. The driver should also be cautious in driving along the roads with heavy bends and slopes. Mobile telephone service companies have been agreed to provide all telephone connection without any interruptions tomorrow, and they made a pledge in this connection at a discussion held at the Telecommunication Regulatory Commission under the patronage of Deputy Minister Eranga Veeraratne. Considering the existing disaster situation, mobile telephone companies have also agreed to provide limited amount of free internet data as well tomorrow.
The national television has started a special social welfare program to provide relief to the people affected by the natural disasters due to adverse weather throughout the island from today. This has been implemented under the theme of Nosidana Dayava, the Benevolent Unlimited. Accordingly, people are able to donate necessary requirements to the Rupavahini Corporation premises to be distributed among people affected. Dry rations, bottled drinking water and other essential items are received by the SLRC. The national television invited the benevolent people to contribute to this special social initiative. Further details are available by dialing the telephone number 0112 352601. Those who are willing to give financial assistance, the national television account number is 955-970-83 of Bank of Ceylon will be opened. People are requested to deposit any amount of money to this account and WhatsApp the relevant receipt to number 0789862 with the name, address and telephone number of the donor. We'll be back with more news from home after this break.
Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that India remains ready to help Sri Lanka at this time of this disaster. The mission started by India for the sake of Sri Lanka has been named as Sagar Bandhu. Issuing an X message, the Indian Premier extended his heartfelt condolences to the people of Sri Lanka who have lost their loved ones due to the cyclone Diwath. In solidarity with the closest maritime neighbour, India has urgently dispatched relief materials and vital support to Sri Lanka considering the existing disaster situation. India's neighbourhood first policy and vision, Sagar Bandhu relief mission, has been implemented, the Premier further said. In a communication by Indian Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar, it is stated that the aircraft carrier in INS Vikrant and INS Udayagiri are engaged in the operation to provide relief to Sri Lanka. India's aircraft carrier has donated over 6 tons of dry rations and other essential items to assist flood victims in Sri Lanka. Indian government further said that required assistance will be provided for relief and life-saving missions according to the requirement in Sri Lanka.
And meanwhile, Indian authorities have issued warning alerts due to the cyclone Ditwa, and officials caution that the states of Tamil Nadu and also Andhra Pradesh could be heavily affected. Cyclone Ditwa has intensified from a deep depression into a severe cyclonic storm, prompting authorities to issue high-level warnings from Tamil Nadu and other coastal regions. The Met officials say that cyclone currently moving northwest is expected to impact northern Tamil Nadu, Puducherry and also southern coastal areas of Andhra Pradesh on Sunday morning. They further state that the system will continue to track north and northwest across southwest of Bengal and before weakening after it moves inland over southeastern and southern India. Forecasters estimate that the cyclone could bring heavy rainfall exceeding 200 millimeters within the next 24 hours, accompanied by strong winds that may reach up to 100 kilometers per hour. Sea waves could rise at times above 4 meters. The Indian Met Department has already issued red alerts for several regions effective until December 1st.
Now, a special media briefing to raise awareness regarding the prevalent disaster situation was held at the Ministry of Defence. Minister Bima Ratnayake said that the immediate priority is to bring the affected people to safety centres. In certain areas, a very large-scale disaster has occurred. Therefore, the President has given instructions to keep them in community centres and schools and to provide cooked food and other dry rations, bearing all necessary cost for food, medicine and other needs through the district secretariats. Practical solutions have already been initiated regarding this. Furthermore, as stated by meteorologists, this cyclone is currently moving out of Sri Lanka across the northwestern and northern provinces. Based on current scientific data, this situation will persist in Sri Lanka until the 29th and 30th. Therefore, for the next 2 days, our primary request is to prioritise saving lives before attending to property. The number one task is to stay safe in protected areas or homes during this highly unsafe period. We can plan for the recovery of this great destruction afterward. Regarding transportation, we request the public, please do not travel, do not not travel unnecessarily. We especially expect to discuss with the heads of the private sector, and we also request the private sector and the state sector, including essential services, that since the next 2 days will be very challenging, to allow employees to stay in safe locations and attend to the protection of their lives. For essential services, if public transport is unavailable or difficult, we have requested the Sri Lanka Transport Board to keep 2 extra buses on standby at every depot to transport essential workers. The chairman of the SLTB is present here. Furthermore, we have notified the Private Passenger Transport Authority to be ready as well. We have made the expressway toll free to facilitate essential activities, though the government urges the public not to use it for high-speed travel but to utilize it for essential disaster management tasks.
අපි අමතර බස් දෙකක් ස්ටෑන්ඩ් බයි තියෙනවා කියන මෙතන ලංගම සභාපතිතුමා ඉන්නවා. ඒ වගේම පෞද්ගලික මාර්ගස්ථ මගී ප්‍රවාහන අධිකාරී සමගත් අපි දැනුවත් කරලා තිබෙනවා කියලා සූදානම් වෙන්න කියලා. ඒ නිසා තාම අත්‍යවශ්‍ය සේවාවන් වලට ගුවන් ගමන් වලට එවැනි අත්‍යවශ්‍ය සේවාවන් වලට යන්නවට අවශ්‍ය කරන පහසුකම් පෞද්ගලිකව සපයා ගන්න අපහසු නම් එක්ක ත්‍රිවිධ හමුදාව අමතලා නැතිනම් ලංගම ආයතනයේ ලංගම සභාපතිතුමා සහ මූලික ඔෆිස් රූම් එකක් තියෙනවා. එම අමතලා ලබා ගන්න කියන ඉල්ලීම අපි කරනවා. ඒකපෙන වගේම අපි එක්ස්ප්‍රස් වේ එක අධිවේගී මාර්ග ගාස්වාය නොකර කළා තිබුණා. නමුත් ඒක ගාස්වාකය කරන්නේ නැහැ. නමුත් ඒ අත්‍යවශ්‍ය කටයුතු සඳහා යොදා ගන්නා ලෙස ජනතාවගෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා. මම හිතන්නේ මෙවැනි දරුණු
Secretary to the Minister of Defence Sampath Tuyakonta said that he doesn't believe that they experienced a disaster situation of this severity during the month of May recently. However, we had obtained the necessary preparedness required for the disaster situation. Accordingly, steps were taken to deploy Air Force assets, Navy boats and personnel, and Army personnel through the Disaster Management Centre and Regional District Secretariats as needed. Specifically, throughout last night, we were engaged in rescue operations. Although we have been able to rescue a large amount of people, we are still putting in that effort. However, these adverse weather conditions are hindering these rescue operations. Nevertheless, we are managing those conditions well and proceeding with the rescue operations by giving prominence to the tri-forces and the coordination of the Disaster Management Centre.
මේ වන විට මුදා ගැනීමේ මෙහෙයුම් වලට ප්‍රමුඛත්වය දීලා අපි ඒ කටයුතු ත්‍රිවිධ හමුදාව මගින් සහ ආපදා කළමනාකරණ මධ්‍යස්ථානයේ සම්බන්ධීකරණය මගින් කරගෙන යනවා.
Army Commander Lieutenant General Asantha Rodrigo said that the government established an operational centre yesterday evening involving tri-forces, the police and the Disaster Management Centre. All preparations are active within the Sri Lanka Army context through this centre. The government obtained all details through this and provide necessary assistance to all citizens affected by the disaster. When the government take one security force headquarters, it covers 4 to 5 districts. The government has mobilized these headquarters to cover all districts currently affected. The government appointed a coordinating officer for each district to connect with the district secretary to execute the management and control mechanism properly. Currently, strictly from the army, we have a troop strength of about 25,500 involved. The government is directly engaging in relying the disaster-affected public, rescuing them and arranging food and drink. Even supplying food to the camps has been undertaken by the army. For example, if there is an army camp near a safety centre, the government provides the food from that camp. The government working to provide food to all those affected by the disaster.
කැටියට ගත්තොත් ආමි කැම්පයක් ළඟ නම් ඒ සේෆ්ටි සෙන්ටර් එක එහෙම නැත්නම් ඒ ආරක්ෂිත ස්ථානයේ එහෙම නැත්නම් ඒ ආරක්ෂක මධ්‍යස්ථානයේ තියෙන්නේ පීඩාවටපත් වෙච්ච අයට එතන යුද හමුදා කැම්පයක් නම් ඒක යුද හමුදාවෙනුත් නාවික හමුදාව පැත්තෙන් කැම්පයක් ළඟ තියෙනවා නම් ඒක නාවික හමුදාවත් ගුවන් හමුදාව පැත්තෙන් තියෙනවා නම් ගුවන් හමුදාවත් ඒක සහයෝගය ලබා දීමෙන් සියලුම ආපදාවටපත් වෙච්ච අයට අපි ආහාර ලබා දීමට කටයුතු කරමින් පවතිනවා. සමහර තැන්වලදී තාම සමහර තැන්වල ප්‍රාදේශීය ලේකම්ලව සම්බන්ධ කර ගැනීමේ හැකියාවක් නැති නිසා සමහර තැන්වල පොඩි අඩුපාඩු සිදු වෙලා තියෙනවා. නමුත් ඒක ඉදිරියේදී යථා තත්ත්වයටපත් වෙනවා. ඊට අමතරව ක්ෂණික නම්බර 8ක් ලබා දීලා තියෙන ඕනෑම ආපදාවටපත් වෙච්ච අය එක්කෙනෙකුට අපේ මධ්‍යස්ථානයේ අමතන්න පුළුවන්. ඒගොල්ලන්ට වෙලා තියෙන පීඩාව හරි එහෙම නැත්නම් ඒගොල්ලන්ට අවශ්‍යතාවය අපිට දැනුම් දුන්නොත් අපි ඒ අවශ්‍යතාවයන් වලටත් ඇටෙන්න වෙනවා. ඊට අමතරව දැනට අපි සංඛ්‍යාත්මක වශයෙන් බේරාගෙන තියෙනවා ආපදාවටපත් වෙච්ච අය අරගෙන ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා මේ සාහන සේවා ස්ථානවලට 3490ක් පමණ. ඒක දිස්ත්‍රික්ක වශයෙන්ුත් ආපදාවටපත් වෙච්ච අය සියලුම දෙනා සංඛ්‍යාත්මක වශයෙන් ගත්තොත් 4766ක් පුද්ගල සංඛ්‍යාව හැටියටත් 5024ක් පවුල් හැටියටත් අපි දැන්ට මුදාගෙන ඒ ස්ථානවලට ගෙනල්ලා තියෙනවා.
Navy Commander Vice Admiral Kanchana Banagoda said that the relief teams totaling 141 have been prepared. By the time of this discussion, 32 relief teams have been deployed across the country. The government identified locations subject to floods and deployed our naval troops to facilitate transport and rescue people. Additionally, a few incidents were reported at sea. The Navy is providing its full contribution to recover the fishermen who faced accidents in those incidents.
කීපයක් වාර්තා වෙලා තියෙනවා මොහොතේ ඒ සිද්ධීන් වලට සබැදී දීවර ජනතාව ගලවා ගැනීමේ කටයුත්තට නාවික හමුදාව දිගටම තම දායකත්වය ලබා දෙනවා. ගුවන් හමුදාව මේ
Air Force Commander Air Marshal V.B. Idris Singh has said that regarding this, the government prepared heavily starting from the 22nd. We stationed 6 helicopters at Palali, Anuradhapura, Hinguragoda, Pallavi, Ratmalana and Veeravilla. However, the weather poses a problem for every flight. Therefore, over the past 2 days, we utilized aircraft more to assist with the situation. But today, due to the reduction in rain, we have been able to use aircraft to perform duties. Also, for rescue operations, the government prepared a troop force of 1,600. Currently, the government has deployed troops to Badula district, Ududumbara and Nuwara area. Furthermore, prepared an air ambulance and an ambulance aircraft for future necessities. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that the responsibility of providing necessary health facilities to the public gathered in safety centres is being carried out through the provincial directors of health services and our medical officers of health. All those centres are connected to the Sri Lanka Army, other forces and the Ministry of Health to protect the health of these people. A major challenge to face is that for people who take medicine for chronic diseases, obtaining their medicine might be difficult if they cannot reach the clinics. The government is currently working on a mechanism using state apparatus to deliver the necessary amount of medicine for their clinics to those people who cannot reach the clinics. Players of the Sri Lankan cricket team and the supportive staff have decided to donate match fee received by the team during Pakistan tour to affected due to inclement weather in the country.
And meanwhile, Sri Lankan team qualified for the finals of the Sri Lanka-Pakistan-Zimbabwe Tri-Nation T20 cricket tournament yesterday, and they beat Pakistan in a closely contested match by 6 runs. The match was played at the Rawalpindi International Cricket Stadium. Winning the toss, Pakistan decided to field first and accordingly batting first. Sri Lanka scored 184 for 5 in 20 overs. Kusal Mendis scored a brisk 40 runs in 23 balls, which included 4 boundaries and a 6. Kamil Mishra, top scorer for the match, scored his second half century and hit his T20 career by scoring 76 runs and 48 balls. And on that, we end the news. Do enjoy the rest of the programs. And together with Dilanjali, this is Clifford, wishing you a good night.
Stay safe and vigilant.